Hey everybody, get on in here. Yeah, it's that time. Yep, you know it is. I've been playing some more in my room. I found something I liked better above my head that didn't look like it was. I love this little, I love this. It says, and he said to her, "Daughter, be of good cheer. Your faith has made you well. Go in peace." I love that, but these are pretty colors, but they don't look good over my head. So I found this little canvas of "Be still and know that I am God." And I put that up there, and I like that a little better. I also have a portrait, a photograph of a pink lady slipper that I love, that I'll probably put over there where my faith thing was, and a picture of the Mendenhall Glacier from Alaska that I love. So I'm still putting stuff up. I don't have to be perfect, but I'm getting there and I'm having fun with it. And this next week, we are going to be in our main bathrooms of our home, and we'll be doing a round robin in a bunch of other rooms. The main thing is you got to do something in those rooms, a little bit of detail cleaning. And it's snowing to beat the band out there right now. Yes, it is. It is snowing up a storm. So, folks, I just listened to the most amazing podcast, and it had me in tears. I always listen to Scott Adams at 10 o'clock in the morning, and the first part of his podcast was on politics and talking about the Democratic debate last night and little things like that. But he saves the best for last, y'all. He saves the best for last. And he talked about how when he was still working in the corporate world, and you got to go listen to it. I've given Patty and Liz the link to check it out. But he talks about how he's been given this curse, and you think of a curse as being a bad thing, but the curse he has is not a bad thing. And what he said was, in 1988, I remember 1988 well. My boss died. It was a bad year. And but Scott's telling about 1988. He saw an interview on TV with a guy who was a cartoonist. He was a cartoonist. And he wasn't a great cartoonist, but he was a cartoonist. And Scott wrote him a letter and asked him for advice. And the man wrote him a 2-page letter back to him. Now, I don't remember the man's name. You can watch the podcast for yourself. If you want to skip forward to the last 15 minutes, that's fine. But Scott said, I did everything he said. I sent everything off the way he told me to do it. And then I got rejected. And then a year later, he finds in his mailbox a letter from this same man. And one of the things he had said to him in his first letter to him was, don't give up. Don't get discouraged. Don't give up. Well, the man said he was cleaning out his office and he found Scott's letter. and he just wanted to send him a little note that said, "Don't give up." So Scott collected up all his stuff and sent it all in, and Dilbert was born. So you see, sometimes it just takes one kind word to bless someone else. This morning, somebody took the time to write a long, hateful, condescending letter about how our website is cluttered and looks awful and all kinds of things. I don't need to hear that. I don't need to hear that. We've tried to pay people big bucks to fix things. But guess what? The website is not what is all about our system. It's me talking to you in a morning musing and simple little things. The website is just a collection of all the things I've ever written. It is, it's chronicles, and you can do a search on the website and find things. I put things in books for you to have things in a concise little way. My first book, Sync Reflections. My last book, The Chaos Cure. This is your primer. So folks, in the time that you spend to complain to people, couldn't you just say something kind? Be nice. Be nice to people. Be nice. If you can't be nice, my granny always said, if you can't say something nice, say nothing at all. Say nothing at all. So Scott was telling about how this one man changed his life. This one man, he saw an interview and he wrote him a letter and asked for advice because Scott had this idea for this cartoon character. He wasn't a great artist, but he had an idea. Well, the curse Scott has is he has to help people. He has to help people. When I was a young mother, getting up at 5:45 every morning, making homemade breakfast for my husband and my child every single morning. I mean, my son grew up eating chocolate cake for breakfast. I know that sounds awful. But his father wanted something sweet for breakfast, and sometimes it would be chocolate cake, sometimes it would be little biscuits with bacon in it, and I made homemade biscuits in the morning. I did, and we ate breakfast at 6:30 together. I would get up at 5:45 every morning, and I would get dressed, and I would turn on the TV, and on TV was this infomercial, because stuff really didn't start until 6 o'clock in the morning. And I would watch this infomercial from Rita Davenport. And I saved up my pennies. I mean, I saved and saved and saved for probably about a year to buy her inspirational cassette tapes. It's Time for You. And it was just a series of her. She was a professional speaker. She ended up running Arbonne. She's a wonderful lady who would take the time to drop you a note if you wrote to her. She might not put it on a piece of beautiful stationery. She didn't know how to use email. Email wasn't a thing back then. And those audio tapes changed my life. Saving that money up to get those audio tapes and listening to them in my car every single day driving to work. And I didn't even have a tape player in the car. All I had was a little cassette player. And it had a little speaker in it, and I would just put it on the seat of the car and I would listen to it. Those audio tapes. And one day I wrote her a little letter. And instead of putting it on stationery or anything, she had a little stamp that she would stamp the correspondence that says, please excuse my informality. And she would write a little note at the bottom or in the margins, encouraging you in some form or fashion. And one day I got to talk to her on the phone. I did. I got to talk to her, talk to Rita Davenport on the phone. And I get a cute, I think for my birthday, I got a little note at the office that said, how you doing, Marla? She remembered my birthday this year. So you see, folks, saying something kind to someone, encouraging someone. You know, I got the curse too. Because somebody did something nice. Pam and Peggy as well. They were kind to me. I never dreamed I would be Fly Lady. I never dreamed it. I never had any idea that I could bless someone else with a little advice or some just plain old common sense. So whenever you get a chance to help someone, do it. If I hadn't gotten my house in order, if I hadn't done the things that I needed to do in my home, I would not have been able to be Fly Lady. The curse of my messy home would have kept me from reaching out and being willing and able to help others. I wouldn't have been able to do it. But when my house got in order, when I spent that year of 1996 getting rid of clutter, stopping by and not buying more clutter, when I got a handle on going to auctions and not going hog wild at auctions, when I did all of that, my life changed. And I found my calling because I didn't have clutter holding me back. I didn't have piles of dirty laundry saying, you can't go do that. At that point in time, I became a county commissioner in my county. I served my public for 6 years, keeping their taxes low and helping my community. The whole time I was a county commissioner, I was still doing Fly Lady, but I had no clue that we would outgrow. Our county has about 30,000 people. 30,000 people. My county manager said to me one day, you know, Marla, you've got more people on your Yahoo group than we have in our county. At that time, it was about 200,000. Now we're million. We're in the millions. And it's all because I got my house in order. Because I took a few minutes to establish routines, following a system that books I had read many years before, but they had never stuck with me. But I took the system and it evolved into what it is today, with baby steps and establishing simple habits. My life changed. yours can change too. You can become a blessing to others if you will just step outside of yourself and get your house in order. Find your calling, because it's going to come to you. Right now, with a messy house all around you, you can't think. You can't hear that little voice saying, you have to do this. You have to do this. I mean, when you hear the call of the Holy Spirit telling you you have to help someone, you got to do it. You can't stop. I felt that call yesterday. I felt the call yesterday. I had to help someone. I'm not going to brag on myself. I'm not going to do that. But I had to help someone. I don't know why that was put in my heart and in my head. But when you know, you know. And when your house isn't pulling you away from that little voice inside of you, my little niece, Brooke, she felt the call to go to LA and work with the homeless. And she is interning at a church, a big church out there, and she's using her art skills. She also, at one time, she wanted to be a doctor when she grew up. Well, that sort of changed. She went to a wonderful university in Cleveland, Tennessee, and she went to Lee University, and she has a degree in theology. But she loved art too. She can draw like and paint like nobody's business. And she loves to make little videos. She's building her talent stack, as Scott would say. She's learning different little things to add to this talent stack. She drove across country following that little voice in her head that said, you got to go help people. You got to go help people. So go shine your sink. Go get dressed and lace up shoes. I know it's Saturday morning and you want to lay around in your pajamas all day, but put your shoes on. Get your clothes on. Fix your hair and face. When you get the clutter out of your life, when you establish these morning, afternoon, and evening routines, you're going to find your voice. You really are. I don't know if you've got a book in you. I don't know what you've got. Scott was saying that he wrote the book, How to Fail at Everything and Still Win Big, because of that one man who gave him the curse of helping others. Because he felt like that book would help a lot of people. Because you don't have to be perfect to still win big, as Scott says, in his own way. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. So please take some time today, right now, to declutter a little bit. That's our habit of the month, is decluttering 15 minutes every day. 15 minutes may sound like a lot, but 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the afternoon, 5 minutes in the evening, it doesn't take much. This next week we're going to be in our bathrooms, the main bathroom of our home. We're also going to be doing a round robin in a bunch of other rooms. We're going to get our bathrooms company ready at all times. That is a wonderful feeling, to be company ready. You deserve to have a home that blesses you. Don't pass up an opportunity to bless someone else with a kind word, an action. Grab some notes. Get some blank note cards so that you can just jot down little things that you want to send to people. People don't use the mail anymore. Get some stamps. Not just an email. Send little notes of encouragement to folks. You can do this. When the house isn't pulling at you, you can make a difference in somebody's life. And you're going to be blown away at how much joy comes back to you because you were able to write a little note, and it didn't take you long. You found a pen, you found a stamp, you knew their address because it was in your phone, because you were organized. You could do that. So I challenge you today to drop a little note in the mail. Put a stamp on it. Send it to somebody that needs encouraging. A real note. Because if that man had not found Scott's letter on his messy desk when he was cleaning his desk, if he had not found that letter, he would not have sent Scott a letter a year later saying, "Don't give up. I encourage you to keep trying it." And that time it worked. That time Scott made it. And he was able to quit his day job. I was able to quit my day job too, being a county commissioner. That was a lot of work. I was on 17 committees. And then I got to write books. I got to follow my passion of helping others. You can do this. Sometimes all it takes is one kind word. One kind word. I get emails from people and messages from folks all the time wanting advice. And I take a few minutes and I just pick up the phone and call them, especially if they give me their phone number or somebody will want me to do a podcast with them. I'll do it. I kind of have to do the do it now principle, but guess what? It works. We get to help people in some way. Scott looked in the newspaper this morning and I looked, I don't know where he looked, but there was a trending thing on Twitter. And, jump in and get on our Twitter feed. It's The Fly Lady. It's another way to stay in touch with you. He looked and he saw the name of a man that he had helped in the past, who quit being a cartoonist and has a Disney movie out. A Disney movie. So go listen to Scott's podcast this morning and scroll to the end. He tells you in the beginning, I haven't talked to Ben today. He tells you in the beginning he's going to have some inspirational stuff at the end, and you just want to hang on. You just want to hang on. So keep Scott in your thoughts and prayers. He's got to have surgery he's got a cyst on his leg and polyps in his sinuses. And he's got to have surgery, so keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Leanne's been sharing some videos on YouTube about vitamin D. Y'all get your vitamin D checked. Start taking vitamin D. It's going to help you with a lot of stuff. There's a lot of videos and on YouTube on vitamin D. Some of them are a little technical, but others are really good. Everybody, the complete cleaning pack is going away next Friday, February 14th. Do not wait, because it's not going to be back like it was. It's really, we're turning it off. So get it ordered now. And if you don't have your calendar yet, This is the best chaos reduction you can do. You can remind yourself to write a kind note to somebody. You can put this on your calendar. We got a testimonial today. A lady had lost her mini calendar, and she didn't realize how much she used that thing. And so she had to order herself another one. I love you all. I'll see you at 3 o'clock. Talk to you later. Bye.